This is going to be a full SEO audit of a pest control company based out of North Denver. We're going to look at their site structure. We're going to look at their Google Business Profile. We're going to see what do they currently have going on, how's their internal link structure, how are their technical things going on, do they have any 301 redirects, do they have any 404 errors occurring, are there external links that are pointing back to their site, the correct URL structure. And so first things first is I want to look at their Google Business Profile and see what do they currently have going on, or did they properly fill everything out. And so first thing that I can see for this pest control's Google Business Profile is that I can't get directions to it. So what that means is that it's not physical address verified. They haven't verified that actual location yet. Right now, they have a service area based profile. So if you're a pest control company and someone searches for pest control near me, your service area based Google Business Profile is going to be invisible. 99% of the time, those with a physical address verified Google Business Profile are going to rank higher than you. You're going to be placed below those with a verified address if you have a service area based Google Business Profile. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get that addressed, get that physical verified address verified. So they've got the description, looks like it's max filled out. So I click on your Instagram and it takes me to a page that doesn't exist. So anytime you're linking to social profiles, you want to actually click the link yourself and make sure that it works. So for this pest control company in their Google Business Profile, they're linking to Facebook and Instagram, but the Instagram link doesn't take me to their actual profile. So you're just confusing Google. Also, the website you're linking to on your profile needs to be the same URL structure that is on your website. So they're linking to a non-www version URL. So the thing about this, it'd be like yourdomain.com. But when you actually go on their site, it's www.yourdomain.com. And you want to maintain that URL structure. It doesn't matter if you pick non or with www for a pest control company, but we want to maintain that consistency across any time our site is linked to or referenced. So the other thing, it looks like a profile, you're at 6 reviews. I would just get those reviews, just get more and more reviews as you continue to get more and more clients. Just, hey, can you please leave a review? Also, make sure you're linking them to the review URL. So you go right here, you click write a review, and then you'll get a custom or a set URL that whenever someone clicks on it, they will be taken exactly right here. Because instead, what you don't want to do is just link them to your profile and then they have to figure out where to place their review. So always, when you're trying to get reviews, have the QR code, have a NFC tag, and have this URL so that you can just make it as frictionless as possible for them to write that review on your Google Business Profile. Anytime you're going to create these social profiles, we want them all linked on our Google Business Profile. Also, on your social profiles, on your Facebook, we want to make sure that we're maintaining the same URL structure. In your posts, whenever you're posting on social, you want to also include a link back to your site. Now, this is a new Facebook, so obviously you haven't posted too much content yet, but you want to include that when you do go to start posting on this pest control company's Instagram as well. In their bio, you want to put a link going back to your site. And like I said earlier, we want to maintain that URL structure. So if you have a www or if you have a non-www, doesn't matter. We just want to match it to whatever is served or whatever is given when we visit the site. And on your YouTube account, you also want to have a link to your site. On your YouTube, you can also link to your other social profiles. And when you go to post on YouTube, you're also going to want to have links back to your site. And again, on your TikTok as well, do the same thing. Make sure we're linking back to our website. You're doing a great thing on your site where you have links to all of these. I always make sure that they're all also linking back to you. Your Better Business Bureau, the URL structure is correct. The phone number matches. This is awesome. Your Yelp as well was linking to the correct stuff, which is great. You're responding to reviews as they come in, which is great as well. Anytime we get a review, we want to be responding within 24 to 48 hours, even as a pest control company. Okay, so now let's look at the actual site. So what you're currently doing is you're using JavaScript to pull in the URLs from your site or from your Google Business Profile. You don't want to do that because what you're doing is you're forcing Google to enable rendering to see that content. So majority of the time when Google comes by to crawl your pest control company's site, it doesn't have rendering enabled. So it's not going to see that review content that's left. So you're pulling all of that review content from your Google Business Profile with JavaScript. And whenever Google comes by to crawl, because it's JavaScript and Google doesn't have rendering enabled all the time, it's not seeing that content. So you're not being accounted for all that content on page. Now, when someone comes by to visit your site, they're still going to see all of that content, which is great. You're just not getting it from Google's eyes. You're not getting those keywords, those LSI terms, those entities on page. So what they have going on is when you click here, common Colorado pest we treat, right? They've got this ant icon. When you click this, you're taken to their /pests page. And then they have another little ant icon, but this behind it has all of this content. So it says ant, then it has ants are one of the most common pests in Colorado homes and businesses. Then they have a little card that says weaknesses and how we treat. Then they also have prevention and what you can do. This is genius. The only thing I wish is that when I clicked on this on the home page, I'm given this content instead of taking to another page, and then I have to click to get the content. What they can do is they can have the icon, and then behind it, they have all of this content, which has relevant entities, LSI words, keywords, and keyword variations on page. Just it's hidden from the user, so the user doesn't have to deal with a wall of text, but it's still there for all of the crawlers. As a pest control company, like doing this for each of the pests that you treat for, right? You can get all of that relevant information on page. This is great. I really like this. So pest, black widow spider. No, it's the same page. And when you click on the filters or these attributes, it also doesn't create a new URL. It's done internally. This is awesome. Whoever did this did a good job. What you could also do is in these cards, you can have links going back to your individual service pages. Yeah, like you've got all of these service pages. I would have on each of these cards all linking back to those service pages. Yeah, this is really good. What you could also do is you could, on these as well, you could have it link back to the Wikidata or the Wikipedia pages. So like stink bug, let's see, let's go to search Google stink bug. Oh, that's interesting. So this is the Google's entity card that popped up. I'm gonna actually put this to the side because I want to look at that later. Let's go back and search it again and then do Wikipedia, and then I would just do stink bug. And then you can link to this from this card, which would be genius. And do you have it in your schema? What's going on with your schema? Let's look at your schema. Let's go. We could get this schema. You got the same as, which is great. You got the aggregate rating, which is great. But we could totally get so much more on this schema because you have so many separate entities that Google already knows so much about. As a pest control company, you can easily take advantage of all of this because like fire ants, stink bugs, ticks, house crickets, yellow jacket wasps, bald-faced hornets, all of those have entities in Google. And so what we can do is we can link to the Wikipedia, we can link to the Wikidata, we can link to the Google Knowledge Graph ID. Either way, but we can link back to all of this relevant content, all of this relevant information, right? And that will just feed the site. That is all. Oh, I never even thought about that, because it's super interesting. Because sometimes what occurs is that there are certain services or certain products or certain things that don't have a lot of Wikipedia pages or a lot of Wikidata or a lot of knowledge graph IDs, but because because pest control has so many, you can link to these individually. That is really cool. I wish I never even considered that. That's awesome. Yeah, you could get so much going on with your schema. You could get like probably 5 to 10 pages and more information. I never thought about that. Okay, so then let's go back. Let's do this. Let's close that. Okay, service area. Let's see. Do you have view all services? You have a service hub. You got service area, which is good. Common pests, featured services, commercial pest control. Okay, this is smart. Personally, I'd get rid of all the stock or AI photos. Okay, so you've got pest control services across Denver metro service areas. So instead of using all this AI and stock photos, instead of using these AI photos, I would rather go to Wikipedia and use their photos. I know that I said stock, but I would rather use that than AI photos. You've got this service area, get directions. What happens if I click this? Yeah, so you're linking what is it called? You've got the area codes on these, which is great. Check service availability. So they link to all of their individual service pages. So this helps this pest control company get a full crawl depth each time, because when we go look at their pages, they've got all of these hubs or cards that have links to their service areas, to their individual services. They've also got links to the types of just everything. And so what this does is that each time Google comes by and crawls, it will get a list of all those URLs to then go crawl later. And so you probably have really good indexing. This solves for your indexing issues and helps get your pages crawled for whenever you make changes to them, because Google can easily go find all the URLs each time it comes by and visits. So those are your service areas. That's your service area hub. Let's look at your individual services. Let's go look at your about. So on your about, I would get photos of you as the actual owner. You want to build up that entity with Google, and you want to talk about yourself as much as possible, and also in your schema. You can really beef up the schema a ton on your about page as well. So you got links to each of your individual services. So in your footer, you could do some more getting better crawl rate or crawl depth. You could list out all of your service areas and all of your services down here. Be a little thing I would say to do. So you've got the breadcrumb, which is good. Same day, you've got that. Pest control, the commercial pest control. Yeah, so you have these cards. I would just have the content behind them and stop making me click to go to those individual pages, because you could beef up a lot of that. Other services you provide. You've got the review content, but it's probably still being pulled in from JavaScript, which I wouldn't do. No, this is static. Interesting. So your homepage isn't static, but these are, which is great, because every time Google comes by, it sees this. What you could also do is I would have these responsive. So instead of having the template or what have you be the same exact height for each, have it responsive so that the height is set to the amount of content in each review. And I would also be pulling in photos, stuffing that alt text again with more keywords and more SEO. In this review content as well, I would be bolding terms, your keywords, keyword variations, LSI terms, entities, everything. Pest control, this is great. You got residential pest control as well. Yeah, you got a nice template going on. What's the word count on here? 934. So you probably want to get more words on page. Let's see, let's do control. So let's do pest control 58 times. Rodent control, which is good. Let's go look at your individual service pages. So there's no header. There's nothing going on with these pages. Let me close all of these and then start opening these up. So let's move that over. Let's do all of these. You got 4, 8, 12, 16, 18. You've already got a ton of pages, and looking at everything else, this is a pretty new site. I wouldn't just keep making new pages and service pages. If you've already made them, leave them. Do not do anything to them. But it's such a brand new site. It's such a new entity or a new business that's trying to be formed with Google. You don't want to just spam it with a whole bunch of pages and context and information and everything. You're just going to make it harder for yourself to rank this. Also, you're linking to a 404. I would just not link to this page at all. And then some of these pages that looks like you might still be building out don't have a lot of content on them. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 404s that you're just linking to. Rather, just don't link to them or go and create those pages. And then also, because you have so many different pages that are location pages, you really want to make sure that these are distinctly different from each other. So Google just goes in and, oh, all he did was switch the location. For this pest control company, you have a good template, right? You've got a lot of this different information. You've got a lot of relevant content, high authoritative content on the site, but you want to be careful about just creating a whole bunch of location pages that don't really have any distinctively different content on them. Also on your location pages and on your service pages, in the content, you want to be interlinking as well with relevant anchor text. You don't have that occurring at all on your current location pages, and it doesn't look like you have that occurring at all on your service pages either. And so you have a lot going right, but there's not a lot really distincting it from each other, right? Because you're using such a templated layout of the site and the content. It's all good. It's just that you really need to add that 10 to 15 to 20% difference from each page from each other, right? Or just all really looks the same or identical. Okay, so that's all for the manual. Let's go look at the automated. So in your sitemap, oh no, yeah, so these are the URLs that I told you about. Your service, those 4 URLs that are your service pages don't link anywhere. Okay, yep. So 33 pages have no share image or title set for social media. So this is just whenever you go and you were to place your link on social media, that image or that template or that card that pops up, you're not setting that up for these pages. Yeah, you got a lot good going on. It just needs to be cleaned up. Yeah, so that's the end of the pest control company's SEO audit. All right, guys.